going on, everybody? I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com. Smile, you're on TV. Well, not really. But I just want to say thanks to the folks at Samsung for lending me this handy-dandy full HD camcorder. See, it says right there, full HD, 1080p. So we can experiment with doing some PhoneDog videos in HD. So let us know what you think in the comments. HD, is it worth it? Does it matter? Do you care? Let us know. All right, let's get on to the dogfight.
So, in some ways, this dogfight's kind of like the past against the future. I mean, not quite, because the iPhone obviously still has a future, but, you know, next to the Hero, the iPhone in some ways looks kind of more like the past than what's coming. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Hero's quite ready for prime time. What the heck am I talking about? Well, let's get in closer. Let's get a closer look and we'll show you. iPhone 3GS on the left, HTC Hero on the right. Both phones are running right now on AT&T here in the United States. The Hero is an unlocked version, does not have North American 3G banding, so it's running on 2G only on Edge and GSM, whereas the iPhone 3GS is running on 3G on AT&T. Both phones also have Wi-Fi and are connected via Wi-Fi. You can see up there on the top, the little Wi-Fi indicators. I've had the iPhone 3GS for a little over a month now. I've had the Hero for a little under a week now, so you know, I might be a little more familiar with iPhone, but I've been using the Hero as my personal phone for since I got it for about a week now. And basically, in a nutshell, I think there's a ton of potential with Hero. Android is starting to come into its own a little bit more, and HTC did really bang up job with the Sense UI. But it's a little bit slow, a little bit laggy, a little bit buggy, but I've had bug problems with the iPhone as well, so that's kind of a push for me as far as, you know, actual freezes and crashes. But Hero is kind of laggy, and so that makes it hard for me to recommend using it right now as is, as a day-to-day phone. That being said, I've talked to HTC. They're working on optimizations, software optimizations to reduce the lag, and then there are rumors flying around about a North American version, an American version of this phone coming to Sprint in time for the holiday shopping season, so within the next few months. Again, that's just a rumor, nothing solid on that, but we may be seeing Hero coming to Sprint in the US in a CDMA version. That being said, we'll get into the phones. Both phones have capacitive touch displays. Both phones are multi-touch enabled as well. You can see iPhone is generally bigger, a little bit taller, a little bit wider. The screen's a little bit bigger. If you look on the back, the Hero has a 5 megapixel camera with autofocus. iPhone 3GS has a 3.2 megapixel camera with autofocus. Both of them also do video recording. The camera's honestly kind of a push. They're both pretty standard, you know. I'd say slightly above average cell phone cameras, camera phone cameras. The Hero has more megapixels, but unless you're printing photos out, megapixel count doesn't matter. If you're just doing online sharing and that kind of thing, they're both good. The video capture on the iPhone's a little bit better. iPhone's spot focus and auto white balance thing actually kind of works a little bit. You know, it's a little better than I thought it would be, and just in general, the process of capturing and sharing videos, a little tiny bit easier on iPhone, not really much though. iPhone, you can see this version is a 32 gigabyte version. The 3GS comes in 16 and 32 gigabyte versions, so iPhone has a leg up there. No card slot. Hero, on the other hand, your storage is basically via micro SD card. The slot is hidden under the battery cover, so there you go. Go back to the home screens, and basically the big, in a nutshell here, the difference between these two phones, aside from the hardware, just, things running faster and more smoothly on the iPhone, I think because of a combination of hardware and, it sounds like maybe some software upgrades. The biggest thing, between these phones is the operating system. iPhone obviously runs Apple's iPhone OS. This is version 3. It's got the multiple home screens. It's got the universal search you can see here. The Hero runs Android, but with HTC Sense UI. So it's got actually 7 home screens that you can scroll between. You can see on the bottom there that little indicator lets you know, that little tab that's moving lets you know which home screen you're on. And you can set these up and customize them as you want. So, I've got this set up. So I've got a main home screen with some shortcuts. I've got a favorites list. I can customize who this is, so these are my phone dog people, and in the favorites list you can see it tells me when I have something unread. So from Aaron there, I've got 1 notice of something unread. Tom, I've got 2 down there. You can also, it's got the Android drawer, so you can go to your all programs there, back and forth. You can hit the plus button to add something to your home. So it's got separated between HTC widgets and Android widgets. The HTC widgets, of course, are what they did for the Sense UI. And then you've got your notifications bar up on top, so you can pull that down and you can see, I've got new unread emails, and you get notifications from other programs as well. And that's where I think Android in general and then HTC Sense UI in particular have a big leg up on iPhone, and iPhone's got a lot of catching up to do. Similar with Palm Pre and the WebOS, is that the whole, just, as a communications device, you've got more options going on here and more ways to stay informed and stay in touch with what's going on with people via emailing, SMS, social networking, all that kinds of stuff. You've got your notifications, just more flexibility with the home screen. In Apple, it's basically just, buttons that take you to programs. Everything's program-based on iPhone. You're running basically one program at a time, with the exception, of the iPod. You can keep running in the background. We'll just start that up, and then while that's playing, I can keep the iPod running in the background, and I can do other stuff, and then I can get into my iPod there. But that's basically it. Whereas with Android, you can have multiple things running in the background. My email, notifies me. The iPhone will notify me with that little button down there on the bottom, but it's not going to update unless I have the Mobile Me push set up, which I don't. Just out of the box, it's not going to update unless I go into the Mail app. Whereas here, it'll let me know when I have, on the Android, it'll let me know if I have new email messages. Same thing if I'm logged into a Twitter account, or, other things as well. But one of the big things that I like about Android in general, and about the HTC Sense UI in particular, is the way it deals with people. So I can have my favorites here, and I can click on Aaron, and then I can say, do I want to send him a message or not? And there's an HTC email account, or email program, as well as the Gmail program, which I'll get into in a little bit. I hate the Android Gmail, stock Gmail app. The HTC Mail app is a little bit better. But I can go in also, and I can see from Aaron that I've got a notification that he sent me a message in my Gmail account. I've got a message waiting from Aaron, and it's titled "Whose Hands Are They?" A reference to some funny YouTube comments. Updates and events, I can go in. It pulls from Aaron. I can link to Aaron's Facebook profile if I want to. I'll show you more on that in a second. I can see Aaron's photo albums if he has any up on Facebook or Flickr. I can see our text messages if we have any, and I can see his general information. And so just, it's a little more people-centric. You can just kind of see a little more of what's going on with your people who are important to you. They're from Tom. I've got 2 unread email messages from Tom, and it lists them for me. And just nice. I can kind of see at a glance, with my favorites, with the people who I communicate with the most, it tells me right away when I have communications from them, whether they're via email or text message or whatnot. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. For some people, it's not going to matter. They would prefer to have, the iPhone's more robust iPod and gaming applications, and they don't need all the up to the minute information, or they're fine with iPhone's kind of more limited, more simplified. Simpler. There you go, thanks. With iPhone's simpler push notification system, which just gives you kind of an overlay on top when something happens. But, the HTC system here, it's really advanced, and I just think it's just a more robust smartphone operating system, and it's pretty cool. Now, when you go into the main People app, you can get that for all of your contacts, and it pulls them down out of the cloud if you've got a Google account, which is neat. But then what's kind of neat on this is now you can link it to your social networks. So I've got this link to my Facebook account, and it will automatically update what people who have my contacts who have Facebook profiles. It'll update for me what they've been doing. And for somebody like me, that's actually really cool, because I haven't used Facebook much in a while, because I've come to hate it. I just don't like going to the website. It's just, I don't know, I'm not feeling Facebook right now. But what's neat about this is that, I set up my Facebook account just to see what was going on, and it pulls down these updates for me. And that way I can kind of stay in touch, because I still do have a lot of friends who use Facebook regularly, and it shows me what they're doing right on the phone without having to go to the Facebook website. And then if I want to, I can click through to see more. And it actually showed me the other day, I had a friend who had a birthday coming up. So there's one right now. I have a friend, Randy, who's got a birthday coming up, and it updates me on that. which is pretty neat. So I like what they've done, what HTC's done, linking to some of the online social networks. You can also link to a Flickr account, and I would imagine they'll be adding more support later. And of course, Twitter. There's an HTC application on here for Twitter called Peep. You can see it right up there. And there's, whoops, I hit the wrong button. And there's also a Peep widget that'll run in the background as well.